Morning Misadventure and the Great Toe Incident. The clock on the stove glowed 5 a.m. For Norm, this morning was not just about coffee, it was about rehabilitation. With our January rabbit hunting trip to Kansas fast approaching, I had issued a stern ultimatum. Norm needed to clean up his vocabulary. We simply couldn't risk him escalating into a full blown linguistic battle with Jerry Krieg, our fisherman buddy, and his notoriously colorful wife Tracy. My main point, hammered home to Norm, was this: we absolutely do not need him and Jerry entering a televised state line competition involving chugging, aggressive cussing, and, for reasons that still baffle me, a spinach eating contest. He had 2 weeks to achieve verbal neutrality. Norm, determined to prove his worthiness for the trip, shuffled into the kitchen. Crack! His knee collided with the door he'd left open, sending the coffee filter and grounds launching into a dark atomic cloud. Norm made a typical male attempt to clean up by blowing the stuff off the stove and then shoving the rest under the counter with his socks. He figured the dogs and cats would handle the rest. Next, he slipped on the coffee mud and landed squarely on his butt. That was the breaking point. He shot upright, unleashing a cascade of profanity worthy of Tracy Krieg winning a chugging contest, and sent the full coffee pot flying into the dining room. Unbroken, it was a challenge. Norm charged, delivering a decisive kung fu kick to the ceramic base. Crack! That was the sound of bone. He looked down and saw a gaping hole in his sock. His big toe angled sharply toward Tuesday. The profane opera resumed. Joe stepped calmly into the kitchen, ignoring the mud-caked screaming man. Did you let the dogs out? She asked. Norm informed her to cancel her day and take him to the emergency room. The emergency room visit. In the ER waiting room, Norm was a nervous wreck. The pain isn't the toe, Joe, he groaned. It's knowing that Carter gets the details. He's going to spread this all over the internet, and the way he spins things, there won't be an ounce of truth to any of it. When Nurse Patricia heard Norm's relentless cussing, she immediately suspected he'd been bitten by a rabid animal. Mr. Norm, your language and erratic behavior look suspiciously like Todd Estrella syndrome, she stated flatly. We're concerned you may have been exposed to rabies. That will be 3 shots: day 3, day 7, and day 14. We'll need to admit you for initial observation. Joe leaned in, a wicked glint in her eye. Oh, honey, she whispered to Norm. Look at you, a brave man who fought the house coffee pot and now gets to enjoy 3 relaxing weeks in the hospital. Dr. Alvarez confirmed the transverse fracture and grounded Norm from any activity, including hunting, for 6 to 8 weeks. Joe's face erupted in a wide, triumphant smile. That's awful news, honey, but I suppose I'll have to go in your place. I'm sure Jerry and Tracy will be thrilled to have me join their little contest. Carter calls Joe, the official narrative. As soon as I hung up, I called Joe, ready for the official, sanitized, and probably unbelievable version of events for my internet post. Nonsense, Joe declared, spinning the tale immediately. Norm was executing a complex, multi stage defensive maneuver against a sudden, violent electrical grid surge. The coffee pot was expelling shrapnel, and Norm executed a sacrificial kung fu block with his big toe to knock a rogue coffee bean off the exposed wiring, preventing a house fire. The break? That's a badge of honor. She quickly brushed aside the rabies incident as a hilarious hospital mix up before delivering the final blow. Norm insists I go in his place. He said, Joe, you're the only one who can truly represent the family in the chugging, cussing spinach contest now. I'm going to win the trophy for him. The final internet post. I hung up, knowing the truth was now dead. In its place stood Norm, the toe sacrificing anti rabid hero. Viral social media post by Carter. Urgent bulletin. Local hero Norm saves neighborhood from coffee shrapnel fire. You won't believe this. My buddy Norm, getting ready for work this morning, noticed a critical electrical grid surge overloading his brand new coffee system. According to his wife, Jo, Norm executed a level 5 defensive crouch to shield the dining room, followed by a sacrificial kung fu block with his big toe to deflect a stray coffee bean that was about to ignite the stove. He took the hit, breaking his toe in the process, but he saved the house. Due to his heroic injuries and a hilarious hospital mix up involving a misdiagnosis of Todd Estrella syndrome, Norm is grounded from the upcoming Kansas trip. However, his wife Jo will be going in his place to represent the family in the annual chugging, cussing, and spinach eating contest. Pray for the competition and pray for Norm's recovery.